Hey everybody, MS Farzan here, and today we're taking a look at Lost Ark. Lost Ark is an action RPG put out by Smilegate and Amazon Game Studios, and if you've ever played a video game in the past 10 years, you'll probably be very familiar with what it's doing here, particularly if you've played Diablo or Torchlight or any of those types of combat RPGs like Titan Quest. It iterates on those systems rather than doing something completely new. It does do some cool things with character progression and the different character archetypes that I like quite a bit. I must admit that I've installed and uninstalled and reinstalled this game like probably 3 or more times. Just because when I first played it, it felt so familiar, and then when I reinstalled it, I was just assaulted by all this microtransaction stuff that I wasn't interested in. But something about it has got me coming back again and again, and I'm not really sure what that is. I think it's just the gameplay loop is kind of satisfying, and there's some mindless gameplay stuff that is I must admit is quite fun. The character that I'm playing right now is called a Soul Fist, which was one of their monk characters, and I'll show you some of the characters that I created just to get an idea of the different archetypes they have. We're just following the main quest right now, very early in the game. And I'm going to talk to Guard Mizzle.
I was gathering information about the recent movements of the grave robbers.
I wouldn't say that there is a compelling storyline to be had in this game. There is a story, so it's not like you're just mindlessly running around killing things and collecting stuff, although that is definitely one part of the game. The whole story is about these different arcs, which are basically tomes of magical knowledge that you're trying to collect and gain access to. Once you register some of these teleports, you're able to fast travel a bit more easily around the game. And speaking of travel, my favorite thing so far is these little hoverboard that I can ride around. Not incongruous at all with the rest of this fantasy world. And what am I doing here? I have to click the locate button to check the quest location. And I think that just means that I need to take the teleporter elsewhere. Pride Home is like one of the starting areas, the main starting area that you'll find yourself in. Yes, I'd like to go. The game's totally free to play, depending on how you like to play your games. I certainly, with a free to play game, I like to spend no money whatsoever, just because there's so much out there. And I haven't spent a dime on the game yet, and I'm not sure that I plan to. There's a lot of cosmetic stuff that you can buy, a whole store, and more types of currency that you can shake than you could shake a stick at.
I heard the guards there got their hands full. Is that why you came to pick up the supplies?
I guess. So, pretty early in the game, I'm still, dealing with some tutorial stuff, and as you can see, there is not a shortage of running from NPC to NPC and just picking up quests or depositing items. Give you an idea about the UI. So you might be familiar with games that have a whole lot of UI, and this game is no different. Lost Ark has a bunch of nested menus here. Like, there's a memory chamber if you want to, I think, revisit old cinematics, achievements, titles. There's a whole card system that I haven't really dug into yet. Roster system that deals with all of your characters across your account. Your character menu has everything that you'd expect from a game like this. Whether you're working on your trade skills or if you want to improve your character with combat skills. And there's an adventure guide with collectibles and your quest journal, everything. And so there's a lot. Put it that way. One thing that's pretty interesting is that your combat skills, not only can you increase them to make yourself better and bigger and badder, but once you do, you can, let's say I want to improve this one skill. Once I hit a certain threshold, I can then improve it even further by using my skill points. And then I can save presets, or I can look for recommended presets, rather than like if you are playing a game like Guild Wars 2, you might have to look online for a lot of this different information, and you probably still will if you're going to be raiding or doing PvP or whatever. But this has the UI already has integrated in it this recommended skill system, which is pretty interesting. I haven't dug into this too deeply, but I do like that it's there. I don't want to do this right now.
So, want to browse my wares?
I must be a bird whisperer. That's a good point. Okay, did that. Posted a warning. Great. We're all doing a great job here. Okay, let's see. I need to trace the stone tablet by using the locate button to see the quest. And I see the quest. It's basically right where I was before. And for some reason you get there's a bard class that I was that's actually the first class that I was playing, and for some reason and so the bard class obviously plays music, and you know that's its whole skill archetype. But for some reason, when you get your ability to teleport or fast travel, where is this? It comes in the form of sheet music. So like if I want to leave a dungeon, I will play a song of escape. So for some reason my character just played a lute, even though they're a monk. But you know, whatever. I guess that's cool.
I've just finished studying the grave robbers.
Tell me your secrets, Guard Mizzle. I have not tried my specialty skill yet. So each class has a different specialty skill that is displayed in this part of the UI. This class has a hype specialty skill, which I think improves the damage output. I haven't really looked into it for this class, but other classes will do different things, like buffing the people around you, or other types of benefits. I wonder if Guard Norton is in all related to Norton antivirus. Destroy their tents and take their food. It's kind of messed up, but I guess we have no we have a zero tolerance policy for grave robbers here in the Lost Ark universe. So I need to defeat Lieutenant Hugo and destroy their tents. That's quite mean. So the Soul Fist, mostly like short range to close range damage, with a lot of like monk type abilities that you'd expect, like, you know, punching, kicking, jump kicking. There's a cool skill that brings them closer to you. It kind of like gravitates your opponents towards you, like kind of like Scorpion's spear in Mortal Kombat. And the animations, I will say, are pretty cool. Like, and you can zoom quite in, and I don't know how she fights in those heels, but what can you do? That is one thing that I'll say that is not sort of like the best representation in this game, is that there are some first of all, classes are gender locked, which is just totally ridiculous, and the representations of gender is just like not great, and follows the similar weird fantasy tropes in terms of like the types of armor that the female characters wear, and it's just not very well done in that respect, and not very up to date in terms of it being 2022. And you will find that the gender locking has the effect of perhaps you wanting to play a character that of a specific gender that is just not available within that class, which is silly.
Take everyone to Log Hill and search. If you find the tablet, stash it in the hideout.
Not really sure where robber leader Ugo is, or if they have like some sort of megaphone where I hear them, but I do. I'm going to defeat Lieutenant Hugo a second time because screw that guy. So that move that we just did is called Deadly Finger, and it kind of like throws a bunch of magical arrows. There's also certain skills that you just have to hold down, like this one, Magnetic Palm. You hit the A key and then you have to hold it down to complete the attack. There are a couple of other skills that require you to I don't want to say quick time event because they're not that complex, but they do require you to press another button or the same button at the appropriate time to make sure that it's as effective as possible. Okay, let's talk to these fools. So I'm gonna hit my my hype, which reduces my skill cooldowns, increases my attack speed and damage dealt. And they're about to kill me, so I'm gonna hit a healing potion. So some of the other classes are a bit more exciting in terms of their special skill. This one just improves my combat ability for a short period of time. Here you go. Happy to help. Okay, Norton Antivirus. You're welcome. It's nice to feel appreciated.
According to this note, the ones who are looking for the tablet will have a meeting at their hideout.
A lot of breadcrumbs leading you from one section of the world to the other. You know what? Sure. What else do I gotta do? I do like the Soul Fist character because it it's a nice sort of short range mixture of short range with close range, so you don't feel like you need to be in the middle of the action all the time. It not, at least so far, it doesn't have much in terms of long range abilities, so you're not like an archer that can stay out of the action. So what we might do here is just switch out to one of the other characters. can see how they play differently. And I can show you a little bit of the character creation.
I wonder if they know
Color
what they're doing.
Eppa does not have very friendly neighbors, let me tell you. Clean that up for you, Scholar Eppa. Okay, so let's check out. Let's just jump out of this. This area and go to the character select. Okay, so here we are at the character select. It's created a bunch of like random characters here. You see, if we're going to create a character, a bunch of different archetypes to choose from. What I really do like is that if you, let's say, want to play a warrior class, if you click on the advanced class preview, you can see each of the subclasses that you have to choose from at the very beginning of the game. So you can see if you want to play a berserker or a destroyer, a gunlancer, or a paladin. Paladin I have like a very soft spot for because of paladin in the Diablo games. Or mage. Either something I don't understand also is like why there are some classes have only 2 advanced classes, like the bard and sorceress versus the warrior that has 4, and then there's a female martial artist class that allows you to have these 4 different advanced classes. But then there's also a martial arts, a male martial arts class that only has 1 advanced class. I don't know if there are more on the way or why they're divided this way, but most of them are pretty much what you think they sound like, in terms of like the Shadow Hunter being kind of like an assassin class that has some like shadowy type abilities or being able to turn into a demon. That's the Z skill, a specialty skill for this class. Anyway, so different classes to choose from. You have to choose your, like after the briefest segment at the beginning, you have to choose your subclass right at the beginning, so it's not like something you would choose 10 or 20 levels down the line. But they do allow you to have an extended period of just trying out each of these subclasses, so like you can even spawn monsters and bosses to try them out before you determine that you want to use that class, which is pretty cool. So let's choose, maybe we can do the paladin class. I have experienced quite a bit of server queues, because I'm not paying anything for the game, so I don't know if there's a way to bypass that if you're a subscriber or what have you. But I will say that when I want to play Lost Ark, I usually load it up.
You're the one who saved Father Armin.
A long time before I want to do anything with it, so I just like will load it in the background and then check my email or do something else.
So, got any news?
Another round here!
I'm in the same
The
place
other half
as
of the stone tablet in the cathedral.
we were before
I
with
didn't
the other
even know it was
character.
half a tablet to begin with.
And there's also with some of the NPCs, there's a rapport functionality.
The
I think
other
you have
half
to
of the
unlock
stone
that.
tablet in the cathedral. I didn't even know it was half a tablet to begin with.
So this is just like the basic look around Pride Home and
Pride Home is a city rich
learn
with
where all the
religious
vendors are
history.
and such.
The lion statue in the village square
Okay.
honors the priest.
Yeah, you can watch that on your own time. I'm just gonna run out into the world and do a little combat with the paladin. Then we'll check out the bard class, which is a little bit further in the game, so you'll get to see one of the different environments.
Father Armin is really handsome.
Watch out for the grave robbers.
So, Lost Ark isn't exactly billed as an MMO, but there are some MMO-type elements. It's definitely an online game, so you connect to a server, you play with others. There's PvP and raids and dungeons and that kind of thing. I haven't really explored too much of that, given that that's not necessarily what I come to these games for. But there is that there, like if you want to join a guild and participate in the community, you can definitely do that here. So that's pretty cool. The paladin class definitely could be rose tinted glasses, but definitely reminds me of the paladin class in Diablo. Let's do a Sword of Justice. That's pretty cool. Some of the animations and the way that they've kind of conceived of the skills is pretty interesting. And the classes, even the subclasses within, or the advanced classes within each class, tend to be pretty diverse, which I think, for me, that's the biggest selling point of the game, is the classes and the class structure, the character advancement. There's some, what do you call, character, in character creation, there are a lot of different options, too, to customize your character. I don't know, in games such as these where you're not really looking at your character all that much, their facial features that much, because they're either covered in armor or it's an isometric 3D game, so you're not it's not like a Mass Effect where you're looking at your character all the time. It might be more important to you than it is to me, but for me it's definitely not what I come to these games for, but there is some variability there in the character creation. The classes themselves, though, are what I think continue to draw me to the game. The variation and the core combat is fun enough for a point-and-click game that I cannot say no to the flying skateboards, the hoverboard. In terms of the monetization, like I said, microtransactions abound everywhere. If you're, if you don't mind that, or if you like playing games for free and just dealing with all different types of currencies and chests and tickets and whatever, and this one, a character slot extension requires 800 diamond thingies, whereas a 30 days crystalline aura requires a purple diamond thingy. I just don't know. I tend to avoid this for as long as I can until I find that I've hit a wall and want to either have a new character slot or customize my character in some way. I don't know. Your mileage may vary with this, so I would I haven't found a use to spend my 10 purple gem thingies on, so there's a lot here if you want it.
Father Armin is
And
really
the difference of
handsome.
the Soulfist class, the Paladin class, has its Z skill is either Sacred Executioner, which uses this piety meter to strengthen your sword and have increase the attack range of your basic attacks and your damage. Or if you press X, you get a Holy Aura, which is more like a buff, AoE buff for other players around you in your party. So that's the paladin class. Let's jump over to the character select again and check out the bard, which, as I mentioned, is a little bit further along. I do like the idea of the roster system. It's kind of like a ancestry or a legacy system in other games where it applies across your characters, as I mentioned. This is the kind of thing I really just don't love the base outfits for some of the character classes, and the gender locking, like I said, is just nonsense. We look at some of the roster type stuff.
Demons have appeared on Ankumo Mountain. So, got any news?
See, I have a in addition to my combat XP, I have a roster XP here. And if I look at the roster menu, so as you gain in levels in roster by doing specific activities, you gain bonuses across your roster. So like all of my roster, because I'm level 4 in the roster system, all of my characters get on that roster gain a vitality of +5. There's also like different titles that you can place on your characters. The card system, like I mentioned, there's like you gain these, and I don't remember like why or when. I think they might just be rewards for following the story or doing other activities in the game. And then you can create a deck based on that, which I think eventually gains you like some sort of bonuses. Let's see, I'm gonna control right click. Yeah, I tend to think with a game like this that I should be able to know exactly what a thing does just by hovering over it. I really haven't seen that to be the case with some of the systems in here. There are like these little video guides that you can watch, which we could just watch together and see.
Content are used to combine sets through the card system and strategically construct effects that are useful for adventures. Each card set has a variety of effects, so try building card decks for each situation.
It kind of looks like the cards are like an alternate equipment system that you can use for set bonuses, which is, I mean, cool. But like I said, and okay, fair enough. It took me 20 seconds to watch this little guide and figure out what it does. But the impact of the card system, I really can't speak to. It seems like something that a little bit later in the game you're going to want to do if you need a more DPS for a raid, or if you are trying to tank or whatever. That seems to be just an alternate system for. Ooh, here we go. Here's a lot of different cards. So collect 4 cards. Bonus versus plants. So if you have some sort of aggression against vegetation, well, that's probably the card set for you. Anyway, so that exists. No, I don't want to go to the store. Just want to see if there's other things that you might be interested in.
Got any news?
We looked at the roster. This one I've increased some of my combat skills, so you can see I've put some skill points into a lot of this character's base skills, like the sound shock skill. I've chosen in the first tier to increase the explosion radius to 50% rather than, let's say, reducing the cooldown. And then I've done the same with some of the other skills. So there is some space here to customize the way that your character plays in combat, and then of course save them in a template or a preset. Inventory is generally a hot mess. I mean, like in any of these games for me, my number one thing that I don't like to do is any sort of inventory management. As you can see here, like it's done well enough in terms of like there's a sort feature. It separates them between your general inventory, your pet inventory, and whatever storage you have, and then you can sort by types of items. But as you can see, there's like all these different stone fragments that are used for different purposes, and then I've got grains and rice, and then different types of potions, event stuff. Like it's just, there's so much going on, and this character is only level 15. Like imagine what it looks like at higher levels. And speaking of leveling, there's a power pass functionality where I think you can buy something that allows your character to level right to 50 if you don't want to do all of the early level stuff over and over again. What else can I tell you? So the rapport system that we talked about. So this character has started developing rapport with this one character here, Neria. And if you do want to engage with this, let's see, looks like I can play an instrument. And I haven't really seen what, like, sure, I could give her potatoes, and I'd be happy to. Because who doesn't want a bunch of potatoes to increase their rapport? Can emote, and my rapport rank hopefully goes up. Nice. So all I have to do is greet her, and then she has a better rapport towards me. I
did my best.
Looks like that unlocks a roster quest for me. And then, interesting. So it kind of looks like when you engage in rapport, you can unlock not only different benefits from the NPC, but also quests to benefit your roster, which is kind of cool. So don't really want to do that right now, but that's there.
Repairs are almost complete.
Bunch of pets and mounts, and you know, for a game that has a lot of different systems, there's definitely a lot of built-in information here that I appreciate. I might gripe about there not being enough tooltips that explain each of the systems, but they have quite apparently tried to integrate the education about the game and game systems within the game itself, so you don't have to go elsewhere for it, which I think is cool. So let's see, where are we now? We're in Pride Home, and we want to go to Ankuma Mountain. So I don't have a teleporter there. Let's go nearby to the Traveler's Nook. See, this is actually a bard, so it makes sense for me that she plays a Song of Triport to get there. Maybe I'm just a purist curmudgeon. There's no reason why a monk can't play an instrument. Okay. So to the difference of the other classes we've seen, this one is more of a ranged damage, like a mage. Glass cannon type. She plays her instrument and does damage. Pretty cool. Thing you'll probably also be familiar with is this welcome challenge that a lot of games seem to have, in that if you do just like if you just show up and do like the basic stuff, like start your adventure, ride a mount, visit Log Hill, which you're going to do anyway, you get little rewards. Just a kind of a little ways to get you to keep going and keep playing the game. And there are login rewards too that you might want to jump in every day and pick up. Goodness knows what they do or how they help you. Like if you're a curmudgeonly gamer like myself, and you really just want to log in, play the game, and not deal with any more systems than you have to, then you know your mileage may quite vary. Got my evergreen Moko pet that follows me around, and I don't remember what the specialty skill is for this class. Let's see. Serenade of Courage is Z versus Serenade of Salvation. So Serenade of Courage, use all of my bubbles, which apparently I have, for damage to foes, plus 15% for 120 seconds. I think bubbles are like, I haven't played this character in a while, but I think I gain bubbles by doing certain skills. But Salvation, that restores HP to my party. So you're basically deciding between more damage or party heal. And it's nice to add. It's honestly nice to have that choice rather than being pigeonholed into one type of character. If I remember correctly, I think I'm using some sort of a. Where's my character? Using some sort of harp. Yeah, Demon Killer's harp. Talk about power chords. Actually, I don't know if there are power chords in harp. You playing a harp? Your epic hard rock harp that you don't see much of. Yeah, a lot of ranged combat skills, a lot of AoE with the bard.
Where the patients are.
I haven't quite gained enough to do my specialty skill. So yeah, if you look at this map, the game is pretty huge. I mean, as you can see, we're looking at one tiny map within this entire game world, and there's most likely way more than even I am expecting, adding to the game all the time. So, you know, the general gist is that there's a lot to do if you like these types of games in terms of like combat RPGs or action RPGs like Diablo or Torchlight or Titan Quest, any of those games. It's all here for you. It's free to play. There are microtransactions for anything else that you need. Like, as much as I complain about the microtransactions, they're relatively inoffensive. You might get bombarded by them when you log in every day, but I've been playing for a bit and haven't spent a dime, and it's what can I say? It's scratching that itch for me right now in terms of combat RPGs, and I've been looking forward to a new one. And there's a lot of class variety. I have my gripes about the gender locking and the representation of gender in the game, certainly. And the overarching story is there. It's really not going to, set you off in any one particular direction. It's a pretty standard story that just provides a container for the game mechanics. The best part of the game for me is the character variety and character progression, as well as the variety in combat between the characters. It does feel like a genuinely fresh take on the combat in these types of games. So you might try it out and see if you uninstall it and then keep thinking about it and come back to it and reinstall it like I have done a couple of times now. Yeah, let me know what you think about it. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you more next time with another game. Be sure to follow me on Twitter for more content, and like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you soon.